Okay, so I'm on the subway, and I'm on the green one, the green ones that are on Manhattan.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, right? And if it's the morning time, I learned you can say anything. It's no rules. You can say whatever you want, and people they're like, I gotta get to work. I don't care. So,
This is Mycal, listeners, by the way. This is Mycal, fresh-faced New Yorker, just moved here.
3 weeks ago.
Learning the ropes.
Yes.
So yeah, you're on the train.
It's packed in the morning time.
Yeah.
Like you got to get in there
4,
like
5,
sardines.
6.
So there's 2 black guys at the edge of the car. There's a little bit of space. There's an Asian.
Also,
lady.
Mycal is black, listeners. Oh. Second disclosure. All right, keep going, Mycal.
All these races are important, okay?
Yeah.
So 2 black guys at the edge of the train. A little bit of space, and 1 Asian lady, me, and then my back is like to the door, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a white guy who's trying to get in the train behind me. He sees the situation when he comes in. He goes, hey, lady, you're going to have to get closer to those black guys. There's not enough space on the train. And just waves her on. And the lady just starts moving her hands like to her face and back. She's just doing this, and she doesn't move. And then the guy just goes, what are you, racist, lady? Get closer to those black guys. We got no space on the train. And she just kept doing it. She was deaf. She couldn't.
Damn. Bro wasn't being racist. He was being ableist.
Yeah.
It's arguably worse.
I was like, I love this. No one laughed but me, by the way. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. New York is very obvious. It's very... I love the racial aspects of New York. Everything is very like upfront. Like that guy. That was a white guy you said, right?
Yeah, it was a white guy.
Even the white guys.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like it was like, listen, we need space, okay? So you're gonna have to learn how to kumbaya or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know these gentlemen's names. I don't know the brand of their clothing, but I have another easy way to let you know who I'm talking about right now.
It's very direct. Get closer to those black guys. There's no space on the train.
Yeah.
I do like the biracials here. I think that's in New York because y'all have people that you meet biracials and it's like, first off, these 2 countries shouldn't even know these countries exist. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about, my mom is from Argentina and my dad is from Uzbekistan. I'm like, that's not even, those are too far away.
Everyone talks about the economic effects of globalization. No one talks about the biracial effects.
No one talks about the amount of swirling going on and the levels of mixing.
So what are the New York biracials like?
Yeah, you got Cuban and Congolese, all together.
Yeah.
I think that's real beautiful,
Yeah.
Lots of Jamaican and Puerto Rican. That's really cool.
Yeah.
To make a new form of hyper elite biracial. You
Yeah.
know? Not to be confused with the ordinary. It's a different genus,
Yeah.
of
I've met a lot of like Pakistani Hispanic, not a lot, but a few in New York, a surprising amount. Which I'm kind of jealous of. Like I like the mix of 2 different browns. Like that's exciting to me. I had friends in Houston growing up that were like Mexican Pakistani.
Yeah.
And I was always jealous of them because my household sometimes felt a little too Pakistani for me as a little kid. I was like, come on,
mix it up.
Let's mix it up, please. No one even drinks in here. Like it's not fun at all. Bring some tequila or something. But so I was always jealous of them.
Yeah. No, I love it, dude. It's sick. Every now and then you'll meet like a Dominican Muslim.
Yeah.
Like we're you go to mosque and they have a tough time, washing their feet, making wudu because the jeans are so tight and they can't roll it up.
Yeah. Look, Islam's for everyone.
Yeah, it's for everyone.
It's for everyone. All right, let's start the episode.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Very excited to have a special guest co-host.
I'm excited too. Yeah,
Mycal Dede.
Yeah.
Welcome to the pod. Mycal Dede is a fantastic comedian, old friend of mine, one of my favorite people. Going back to Houston, just moved to New York, and is an attorney.
Yeah,
we actually have a lawyer on the podcast now. You know how often I say I'm not a lawyer, but on this podcast? Too many times. But now we got one.
Yeah, I get to tell you when you're wrong, which has always been a goal of mine. Because I've always thought you're way too smart for your own good. So it's going to be good to...
Please prove, dispel that myth you have in your head. Please. You can do it on this episode.
Yeah.
So, very happy to have Mycal on, but... I've briefed Mycal. He knows how to do this. He knows how to do this podcast. It's not that hard.
I'm a fan of this podcast.
Mycal's a fan of the podcast, which is an honor. So let's start with the headline roundup. Here is some of the stuff that cops in America were up to this last week. ICE cops in Minneapolis. Oh, I should also say real quick. This is about 2 weeks, week and a half, because we were off last week, so we're doing a little bit catching up of the last 2 weeks because of the fucking blizzard that prevented us from getting to the studio and doing the pod. So apologies to the listeners that we had to miss out last week, but now we're back and we'll be covering the last 2 weeks. So that brings us to our first headline. ICE cops in Minneapolis fatally shoot another legal observer, R.I.P. Alex Pretti.
ICE cops in Texas have a man die in their custody, rule it a suicide. R.I.P. Victor Manuel Diaz.
ICE cops in Texas have a man die in their custody. R.I.P. Luis Gustavo Nunez Caceres.
Cops in Albuquerque are facing a lawsuit after fatally shooting a man during a welfare check. R.I.P. David McElvian.
Cops in New York City fatally shoot a man during a mental health crisis. R.I.P. Simran Thind.
Cop in New Jersey arrested after fatally shooting a man who apparently was attempting to drive away. Victim's identity has not been released yet.
Cop in Orlando ran a red light and fatally crashed into a 92-year-old woman. R.I.P. Milagros Millie Ortiz.
Cop in Norfolk, Virginia is arrested for shooting a man while off duty.
Cop in New York City is arrested for groping a victim of domestic violence.
Jesus. Jail cop in Maricopa County, Arizona is arrested for child sex crimes.
Cop in Indianapolis is convicted of child sex crimes.
Cop in Natchitoches Parish, Louisiana is facing charges for an inappropriate relationship with a minor.
Cop in Eagle Grove, Iowa pleads guilty to sending obscene images to a child.
Cop in Joliet, Illinois are facing a lawsuit after an officer pats down a 12-year-old girl during a traffic stop.
Cop in Houston gets caught in a child sex trafficking ring.
Cop in Windsor, Vermont is arrested for forcing women to watch him masturbate.
Cop in San Antonio is suspended after sending inappropriate text messages to a domestic violence victim.
Cop in Plymouth, Massachusetts is arrested for kidnapping his girlfriend and threatening her with a gun.
Cop in Brooklyn, Ohio was responsible for reviewing use of force cases is fired for punching a handcuffed woman in the face.
Cop in New Bedford, Massachusetts is caught on video pepper spraying a minor and then punching him in the face.
Cops in Portland are facing a lawsuit for holding an innocent teenager at gunpoint.
Cop in Houston, Texas arrested for illegal street racing at 130 miles per hour with his 8-year-old son in the back seat.
And cop in Hillsborough County, Florida is accused of intentionally poisoning and killing his girlfriend's poodle.
Jesus.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about that one later in the episode.
Yeah, shouts out to the Louis C.K. cop. I mean, that's crazy work.
Yeah.
How does that even come up? That's his excuse. Hey, I did ask. No, dude, that's bad. My
yeah.
God.
His was worse than Louis because he had a gun the whole time.
Yeah.
That was I tell Ashton this like every week in these headline roundup, it's like a combination of words I never knew could exist.
They shouldn't be next to one another.
Yeah. Brand new creative pioneering in ways to be creepy every week.
Yeah, the obscene images to a child, that sounds so vague because did he send like pictures of himself? Did he send pornography? Or did he just like show the child a Serbian film? You know, like
It wasn't that. I don't think he was showing like a professional movie you can go watch somewhere. But I don't know the detail. Either all these stories I'll get mushed together in my brain, but either the article didn't specify or just I didn't want to include some of the details because like it's a weird little challenge I have putting together these headlines because like I want to convey specifically what the cop did, but I also don't want to overly focus on like the salacious aspects of it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's fucking disgusting. There's no other way around of having to say a disgusting thing out loud because that's what they did. But I did notice multiple times this week. I mean, it's a common thing, but we had multiple this week of cops like harassing and exploiting victims of domestic violence.
Yes, that is a really big problem with cops. And it does suck because we know cops have a high propensity to be involved in domestic violence, yet we trust them to solve domestic violence disputes, which is insane.
Yeah.
You know,
They're like, this actually reminds me of something going on in my house right now. And
if anyone knows about this, it's me.
It's me.
It kind of makes me feel like, I don't know, it's not a bar-to-bar comparison, but it's like Ozempic, you know, like it's a drug for weight loss. And it's also the only medication we make people put in the refrigerator. You know what I mean? Like,
what is it? It's just like, all right, where are they going to find this?
Yeah, it's like crazy. It's like it's the one they got to walk past a shake just to get to them. That's so messed up. It could have been a pill like anything else, but no.
Put it next to the leftover McDonald's they got in there anyways.
No.
But yeah, just another week, normal week for us to cover. So what are we talking about in today's episode? Well, we got the verdict of the first trial of a cop at Uvalde. We will be talking about ICE's absurd $100 million recruitment spree. Me and Ashton have been talking a lot about all these new stories coming out about ICE's recruitment bonanza. We got more cases of cops using AI to arrest the wrong people. We'll be talking about an Atlanta comedian who and his potential ties to Mossad, the Israeli CIA. So that's kind of fun. And we'll be talking about the cop poisoning his girlfriend's dog. And what we got in our Patreon this week, we'll be talking about ICE at the Winter Olympics, ICE partnering with Amazon Ring, and ICE and their new technology being developed by Palantir. So it'll be a ICE-centric Patreon episode. But before we dive into those stories, we'll be talking briefly about some big stories that everyone's been talking about. One, we were out last week, so we didn't get to talk about the public execution of Alex Pretti following the execution of Renee Good. Now we have bigger and bigger mass protests going on all over the country, especially in Minneapolis. I saw like over 100,000 people came out for just one of those protests. But it's crazy. The ICE keeps pushing the what's the football analogy? The goalposts.
Yeah,
they keep moving the goalposts forward. At what point will be the tipping point?
Yeah, I think this kind of was a tipping point, I think, for a lot of people, even on the right. And I know this just because, look, I'm fresh out of Austin. I'm friends with a lot of conservatives. And I do think for a lot of them, this was a tipping point just because I think a lot of conservative men view themselves as benevolently misogynistic, at the best, even if that's not with how they would describe themselves. That is what it is. Yeah. This idea of chivalry or protecting a woman. And what Alex Pretti did was what any of them would say they would do. A woman got pushed to the ground and pepper sprayed. He stepped in between to intervene, and he was jumped by 6 police officers, held to the ground, and after taking his gun away from him, they emptied 10 shots into his body. As he was on his stomach, I do believe. I think they spit on him afterwards.
Holy shit.
And to do all of that and then to immediately twist the narrative and say this man was a domestic terrorist, I think that just shows how disgustingly they will do anything as long as you're willing to die in the name of moving the regime forward, And it's and
gross. It was back to back. We saw like the lies. Like, I mean, it's easy to say like how quote unquote obvious it is if you're a liberal or to the left. That Trump's lies are very obvious, but that's if you're consuming liberal media. If you're consuming conservative media, you are not seeing these obvious lies. But this Renee the killer of Renee Good, Trump saying like the next day that he had to be rushed to the hospital because he was hit by the SUV. Everyone saw that wasn't the case.
His own phone footage showed that wasn't even the case, which is crazy.
And again, we're seeing an obvious lie with this guy who's a nurse saying that he was some sort of domestic terrorist. And I like what you said about, you see a man behaving heroically, a man saving a woman, and also a white man, and also a gun owner.
Yeah.
A legal gun owner. Like you said, a tipping point, I think that's another one, is like we see MAGA being splintered. And if you're a gun owner, if you're any sort of a libertarian on the right, well, you're seeing someone having his rights infringed upon before being murdered by the state.
I do think a lot of frustration we have right now is because we didn't take a lot of the lessons from right ring accelerationism from like the 90s. And so I do have a tough time trying to figure out like how would like a Timothy McVeigh view this moment right now, right? Like this is someone who he made a laundry list of things that the government was doing, and he was about as far right as you could get. Yeah. I mean, this man was like a renowned racist in the military. Would he still bend to the regime, or would he say, this is insane what you all are doing? And I think if it's too far for someone who's that crazy, this has to be too far for everyone else. Yeah. Unless you have no political loyalty and you're only, going on grievance politics. And
you know what? That's a great litmus test for understanding politics today. What would Timothy McVeigh do?
I ask myself this all the time. I do. When people say, who are your comedy influences? I tell them David Lucas.
and Timothy McVeigh.
Yes, it's simple,
Yeah, you can't have one without the other.
Exactly.
And then next thing we'll cover in tragic news, rest in peace to Alex Pretti. Also, rest in peace to Sonya Massey. Her killer, what's his name, Sean Grayson, was just sentenced. So he was charged with second-degree murder, which, to me, hilarious. You shot a woman in the face. We'll call this second degree. I don't know I don't know what first degree would be at that point, but he got the full weight of the book, the maximum sentence for a second degree murder charge, and whatever the context of all this was. So
very needed.
Very needed. You can't get out of all the body cam footage we've been forced to contend with the last 5 years, last 10 years, we'll say. This was like some of the most.
That was bad. Yeah. I couldn't watch it because it was described to me, and then when I saw what was happening, I was like, oh, I can't finish this video.
Yeah.
To be in your home and to be cooking and to be like, leave me alone. What is your problem? that was very scary.
So
do you ever feel bad for Derek Chauvin?
I have a healthy concern for him in prison.
Because he can't. I feel like every week he gets stabbed.
Yeah.
And I just feel like.
And it's always like Derek Chauvin was stabbed 49 times.
It's an insane amount.
A lot of stabbing.
Dude, let him heal. But they're stabbing him every week. And you have to think when he woke up that day, he was like, today's the day we're going to care about black people. He didn't think that. That wasn't in his calculus or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just picture him before he gets stabbed with freeze frames, and he's like, "Yep, that's me."
Yeah. You might be wondering how I got here.
It all started with a $20 bill. Let me tell you. Yeah. But no, he got time, and good. I saw the family, and the family was very, very happy.
They were happy. Yeah. And another piece of you could call comedy in all this is that the lawyer was asking for a lesser charge for Sean Grayson because he's developed colon cancer. And so he's going to be in the prison like Bill Cosby. Everyone's going to be worried about his health.
Oh, man.
Which, I don't wish cancer upon anyone.
No.
Only in a metaphorical sense, not in a literal sense, but... out of everyone who has stage 3 colon cancer, this man is not going to be at the top of the list of my prayers and thoughts.
You're getting free health care. It's more than I have.
It's true. That lucky bastard. Him and Derek Chauvin. So, R.I.P. Sonya Massey. R.I.P. to Alex Pretti. So let's start with the
scariest. This is
the weirder stuff. Yeah.
This is the scariest thing. I know you're saying it's weird, but this is really the most terrifying
It
thing.
It is. I mean, AI. The story's going to be about AI. AI is like out of everything we like. People say, "What changed in your lifetime?" For us, it was like 9/11, COVID, AI is the new shit. And so we're going to Philadelphia. We're really going to Florida. But this person was from Philly. This article is from ABC6. Action News in Philly. It's headline: No one verified the evidence. Woman says AI-generated deepfake text sent her to jail. Courts are now facing a growing threat. AI-generated deepfakes. Melissa Sims said her ex-boyfriend created fake AI-generated texts that put her behind bars. Quote, "It was horrific," she said. Sims said she spent 2 days of hell in a Florida jail. Quote, "It's like you see in the movies Orange is the New Black," she said. "I got put into basically a general population." Her story made headlines in Florida. Sims and her boyfriend had recently moved there from Delaware County, Pennsylvania. She said her nightmare began in November 2024 after she called the police during an argument with her boyfriend when she said he allegedly ransacked her home. "Next thing I know, I'm looking at him and he's slapping himself in the face," she said. She said he also allegedly scratched himself. When police arrived, they arrested her for battery. As part of her bond, the judge ordered Sims to stay away from her boyfriend and not speak to him. So it already is insane. They just right away side with the guy, no investigation. The woman's begging them like, hey, he clearly slapped himself, scratched him. Cops are like, man, stop trying to manipulate us like you manipulated your boyfriend over here. Can you stop gaslighting us for one godforsaken moment? Man, we're gonna have to arrest you right now. Probable gaslighting. I mean, this is
so scary, dude. Yeah. I mean, because it could happen to you. Like, this is one of those things where it literally could happen.
This is the stuff that like a certain type of man will fear that his girlfriend will do to him.
Yes.
But I like how this is sort of breaking gender stereotypes.
Yeah, this is very progressive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is the man with the WWF razor in his mouth, ready, cutting his forehead right in time when the cops arrive. Yeah, this guy's a fucking pro, dude. He got away with it.
That's so nuts. For 2 days. For 2 days to be in jail.
Yeah.
And, oh, man, dude. And it's also really scary because a lot of these institutions, these are older people running these institutions, which is good. I don't want to judge in his 30s. I don't. Okay. Every time I see a judge in their 30s, I want to put a gun in my mouth because I just don't think you should be. I'm in my 30s, and I shouldn't be a judge. I'm really reacting.
You don't want a judge who's a renter,
yes.
Right? You don't want a homeowner, the real a guy who knows what life's all about.
I don't want a judge that knows what Skibbity Toilet is at all in any way, shape, or form. But because they're older and I'm getting older, I know there's no way you can recognize what AI is. My eyes are not the same as they were 30 years ago.
Yeah.
If I don't put on my glasses, I can't play video games. There's no way I can know what AI is. It's cooking our grandparents. It's cooking these judges. It's cooking these cops.
So yeah, so let's get further into the article. Yeah. We get to the more of the AI part. So as part of her bond, the judge ordered Sims to stay away from her boyfriend and not speak to him. So again, this part of her bond. It's already like she already did not attack him. Mm-hmm. So this is still an order to stay away, a restraining order, which again is on made up. He hurt himself. Fast forward several months. And she said her boyfriend created an AI-generated text that called him names and made disparaging comments. I ended up getting arrested for violating my bond, she said. No one verified the evidence. So this is insane to me, just relationship-wise. Like, months have gone by. You've already gotten your girl in jail. That's the
That's
ultimate
already
of
crazy.
a fight, right?
You've won.
And months have gone by. You have successfully got a restraining order again, and you're still plotting on her.
That's so.
You're like, how do I get her now? What's the next move in this chess game?
I was wondering what race this couple was until I heard he slapped himself. I was like, that white guy.
That's
That's definitely. And
Yeah.
I've seen white guys in those video games. They punch themselves in the head. Stupid. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
He slapped himself and gets his girlfriend put in jail. Like, I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, man.
All for probably, he's like not doing the dishes enough or whatever. Next thing you know, he's putting himself in a chokehold. Now you're in jail.
Playing
over
the
your
chokeout
fucking...
game with himself.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. That
It's
is
just-
the thing white people can invent.
Yeah.
The chokeout game.
I live with him. I saw him do it. I was like, have you played the chokeout game? No. Have you tried Xbox, dude? What is your
Yeah.
problem?
He's like, I got my dad sent to jail with a chokeout game.
Jesus Christ.
So
That's so scary.
it is extremely scary. After 8 months of legal wrangling by her attorney, prosecutors dropped the bond violation charge against her. And last month, she went to trial on the battery charge and was acquitted. So she's finally, free, but this is after months of an ordeal. Sims shared her story on her journey to advocate for a new law to create AI evidence standards and penalties. Quote, if this can happen to me, it can happen to anyone, she added. In July, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro signed a new digital forgery law that makes it a felony to create AI deepfakes that injure, exploit, or scam in the state. WPVI-TV reached out to Sims' ex-boyfriend, but has not heard back.
Or maybe they have
True.
through AI.
True.
Maybe the boyfriend was never real.
True.
Maybe,
Maybe this podcast is AI, bro. Is Quincy, are you real? Tell us right now. He's not. I knew it.
I thought about this because I feel like the state needs to get involved, but I also think it might be like a dare type situation where like we should be teaching kids and everyone, hey, if you make fake images, you will go to jail. But
make it like dare and be like, if you use AI, you will die.
Yeah. Well, no, I just feel like I learned about how to do a lot of drugs through dare.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if we tell people about this, they'll just learn how to make better, more deceptive deep fakes. But dude, that's so scary, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you
We're barely contending with how far gone we are with AI now, with just like all the stuff that you can do with AI, the really dark stuff. That's
2 years away. Yeah.
Sorry?
It's like 2 years away.
I would say we're there now. Like
Yeah.
people are making their own images and videos, and
Did you see the
it's
thing where like
not
it
healthy?
It was a really hot girl, and she was like explaining like math, and she's like halfway naked, and then you clicked it off, and it was just like a young Indian boy. It was just
No.
he was like using himself animatronically to become
Oh my God,
Riley Reid, basically.
dude.
That's why I tell people these days, you don't know what you could be jacking off to these days.
Yeah.
You got to be careful.
That
You
kid
could
is
be-
gonna die. The wrong guy's gonna find out that was a little Indian boy. He's like, I gotta kill him.
Bro, they could make you gay through Inception, bro. Through
Yeah.
But no, he became
First they
Riley-
shipped our jobs over to India,
And then they made
now they're
us
shipping
gay.
this.
What is that?
Yeah.
No, God, that's so crazy.
And with all this, it's like we have the lowest expectations. Like I do not have any sort of a standard for the police that I would expect them to do some sort of an investigation that anything could be AI, right? So none of this surprises me, and like you said, it is terrifying.
Yeah. These are jobs that need to be the judiciary needs to be expanded, and the job of like the role of a prosecutor that needs to be given over to like a police officer. So you have two types of prosecutors, one that gathers the evidence for the prosecutor, and then one that like prosecutes the evidence, because these are cases you cannot have roided up high school dropouts doing.
Yeah.
Like this is too advanced, and like I'm not saying all cops are dumb, but unfortunately most cops are, and you can't give them these type of cases. This is too sophisticated.
I mean, it's the main theme of our podcast is that like to step away from the personal aspects of like who an individual cop is, like the fact is that it is insane the amount of responsibilities we give these people. Of course, they're quote unquote dumb in the sense that like they're not going to be able to possibly have the training and expertise needed to fulfill all their responsibilities. You'd have to go to school for like decades to hand the way they have to be in charge of like the homeless problem, the drug addiction problem, prostitution issues, poverty, gangs, like school violence. Like, why do we have one person with a 6-month training program in charge of all this shit? It doesn't make any sense.
No, you're getting mad at the plumber for not being able to fix your HVAC, basically. Yeah. It's way too multifaceted, but God, that's scary, dude.
It is. So let's go on to our next story, which also is terrifying and AI related.
Yeah, so this comes out of Phoenix, Arizona. Police used some facial recognitions to make a big cold case bust, but then the case quickly fell apart.
And we're reading here, by the way, from ABC 15.
Yes. So less than a year after Phoenix police touted an arrest in a cold case murder, prosecutors quietly dropped charges against a Mexican man who, defense attorneys claim, was the victim of a botched investigation driven by facial recognition technology. The case fell apart just 10 months after his high-profile arrest. Garrett Miller, the victim's son, who is now a police officer in Texas, told ABC 15 in a remote interview that the case's dismissal has been difficult. Quote, "When I told my family, it was kind of really heartbreaking for them," Miller said. "They just kind of felt like it was, for lack of better words, kind of almost like a lost cause. Like we did all this work and now we're back to square one."
I want to say pause for 1 second. Like, heart breaks for this kid. Like, he clearly became a cop because his mom was murdered. Like that. I mean, that's what I see. Yeah. His mom was murdered. He ends up becoming a cop, and he's clearly, for many obvious reasons, like entrenched in this case. Yeah, and obviously wants to find someone. Wants that feeling of closure to find someone that they could say that we got him.
Yeah, I mean, I do try to stay away from like the all cops are dumb kind of thing, because I do think there are people who become cops who think I can do something good.
Of course, same. I think it's silly to say that every cop individually must be a bad person, but for me, it's like a systems thing. Like, it's a system. You are part of this system
that is
and
bad.
Whether you agree, like if you are executing this job, this system is having you do. Yeah, it is gonna make you do some things that God will probably not look fondly down at you doing. Here and there, but to say like to me, it's irrelevant whether or not they're individually bad person. I totally understand why this guy would become a cop. Obviously, mom was fucking murdered. You wanted? I mean, I've met some good people like that. But just to keep going, he added, "I believe it's him. My family believes it's him. The detectives believe it's him." Miller's mother, Sarah Carr, was murdered in 1998. She and another woman went to a Phoenix home for drugs, court records show. The deal went bad. A man shot Carr in the face with a shotgun. At the time, witnesses identified the shooter as Gilbert Noel Sanchez Rosado through his state motor vehicle division photo. Detectives also found that Sanchez Rosado lived at the home, where they found documents and a vehicle registered to his name, court records show. But the suspect fled and the investigators couldn't find him. But in 2024, Phoenix police announced in a press release and special public relations video that they had finally solved the murder due to some new technology and incredible work ethic. When you work next to the state, as long as I work next to the state, those are two phrases that should not be close together at all. New technology and incredible work ethic. Anytime the state gets new technology, some work ethic is definitely going down. Exactly.
All right, court records.
That's like Israel's like research and development firm.
You're like, oh God. Please stop developing.
Please stop researching. Stop learning about the world. Please. End your pursuit for knowledge.
My God. Things are getting bad. Did you see I'll get back to this. Did you see the Kanye West at a concert in Mexico?
I did not.
And he's shooting rockets off the top of fireworks, not rockets. He's shooting fireworks off the top of the building, but it's like in Mexico. And I see this and I don't have my glasses on. I'm like, my first thought was, why won't Israel just leave them alone? Exactly. I was like, now you're making montage videos to Runway by Kanye West. I was like, oh, it's a Kanye concert. This is... Jeez, anyway. So, Officials got, let's see, court records show that the new technology was facial recognition software used by the Arizona Department of Public Safety and the FBI. Investigators used the technology to run Gilbert Noel Sanchez Rosado's 1998 motor vehicle department photo through state and federal databases. Officials got a combined 250 possible matches and zeroed in on a single photo of Lorenzo Nunez in 2011, where he had been arrested in San Diego and then deported back to Mexico.
So to me, that right there is already an indictment on the technology. Like, facial recognition, it's supposedly you give it a picture, it'll tell you who that person is.
It's supposed to recognize faces.
Yes. And in this, it's like, here's 250 people it could possibly be. Like, that already should be enough to be like, all right, we cannot trust this technology.
If a guy did that, you would just call him a racist.
Yeah.
If I showed you a picture of a Hispanic man, you're like, I got 250 random Mexicans. You're like, dude, what is your problem?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was basically a DMV, like a license plate photo from 1998. So it's not. This is another common issue that we always bring up on this podcast. It's like when the photos they will feed in to facial recognition software will be something like a blurry still from a security camera, an extremely old lo-fi image from Mexico's DMV over here, and they put it in. We even found a company that creates it takes someone's DNA and creates an AI generated fake photo of what that person might look like. Cops will take that, feed that into facial recognition databases, and then chase those people down as if they're real, actual leads.
Which is insane, because if you take that same base photo, you put it into Claude, you put it into ChatGPT, you put it into DeepSeek or Gemini, you're going to get 4 different photos, because these are not... It's not intelligence.
That's a great point. That's like those are like viral videos where people keep feeding the same image into AI and it keeps further distorting them.
Yes.
We have fun with how AI is not good.
Yes. And they're probably just like make them more criminal or something. I don't know what they're
Make them more Mexican.
He's like,
computer enhance the Mexicanness.
They get 20% more Mexican right there. And ChatGPT's like, you're right. We can make them more Mexican.
We can make them more Mexican. If we put our heads together, all we need is 3 more databases out in the desert. We can make them more Mexican.
Phoenix police and county prosecutors allege that Javier Lorenzo Nunez and Gilbert Noel Sanchez Rosado are aliases for the same man. Again, which is something a racist would say, right? Just, these are, papacitos, whatever. Who cares? Tomato, Garza, Gonzalez. Mix it all up. But in court filings, defense attorneys who declined to comment highlighted multiple problems with the investigation and prosecution. Most notably, investigators couldn't find any ties for Lorenzo Nunez to Arizona. He was excluded by all forensic evidence that was tested, including DNA, fingerprints, and handwritten analysis, according to multiple defense motions.
Even their already shaky previous standards for evidence does not apply. All they got is this one fucking facial recognition thing. Yeah.
God Lord. The defense also alleged that Phoenix police and county prosecutors had no proof that Sanchez Rosado and Lorenzo Nunez are named for the same person. The name Gilbert Noel Sanchez Rosado is only listed as an alias of Javier Lorenzo Nunez because it was added by the Phoenix Police Department and the Maricopa County's Attorney's Office as results of this investigation, according to a defense filing. That's crazy work.
Yeah.
That's insane. To be like, we think they're aliases. How do you know? Your Honor, we just made it up.
Yeah.
We just came up with it today.
I understand, like, I empathize with, like, we all do, like, having a job, right? Work. And having like expectations you have to meet, wanting to do a good job, and being tempted to take shortcuts. Like, I understand as a person with a job why cops would be so tempted to rely on AI in an irresponsible way. Like, you get that shortcut, you get a result, you get even like a thing to do. Like, this was a cold case, right? This is a cold case for 20 years.
And he probably
all of a sudden it's not a cold case anymore. You get to have fun with it.
He probably felt so awesome doing this. Just like, you've never seen someone come with the amount of speed I have solving this case or whatever.
Yes.
Oh my God, poor
High
guy.
level. What was it? New technology and work ethic.
Work ethic.
This is the work ethic
He's
they're
like,
fucking bragging about.
I'm working the fuck out of this ethic right now. Let me tell you. Oh my God. In an order remanding the case back for new charges, a judge also ruled that Phoenix's cold case detective, Dominic Rosenberg, gave misleading testimony to a grand jury to first secure the indictment against Lorenzo Nunes. I need to say something as an attorney for what grand juries are. Grand juries are just a room where a prosecutor just gets to go and say someone did a crime. Should they go to jail?
Should they be charged?
Should they be charged with the crime? Yes. Which is this is how it's not a fair process because that's the same way we teach kindergartners morality. You know, it's the same concept of if Johnny steals something, does that make him bad? Yes. Okay. You shouldn't. I've never liked the grand jury system because there's not a lot of rebuttal there.
Yeah.
It's just a closed door hearing. There's not a lot of transcript most of the time. This is absurd. And there's nothing wrong.
Because a grand jury is prosecution only, right? And the jury is there to decide not if they're guilty, but if there's enough to pursue charges. But like you said, why not have a defense there also?
And it's
just so that they could defend the person from having to deal with having, the state charging them with a crime.
I totally understand some sealed grand juries, like if you have a high profile economic case or a predator or something like that. But for stuff like this is a 30-year-old case? My God.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Rosenberg did not tell jurors that investigators use facial recognition technology.
Oh my God. Doesn't even say that.
It doesn't even say it. And I know he didn't say it in the grand jury. He also did not tell the grand jury about how witnesses had identified a photo of Gilbert Noel Sanchez Rosado and not Javier Lorenzo Nunes.
Holy shit. I mean, that is, to me, that's beyond lying by omission. That's just straight up lying.
That is straight up lying.
If their assumption is that it's the guy we're charging and it's not. It was the old photo of some guy who's clearly fled and is just gone.
He's just in Phoenix's email statement for this report, the police department acknowledged the case was remanded to the grand jury, but then falsely claimed it was not due to any misleading or inaccurate information provided by our detective. Okay, that is a lie. Lorenzo was initially arrested in Tijuana and then held in a Mexican prison for months while officials worked to extradite him to Arizona. Look, Trump's not deporting everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
He's importing a few. Listen, when Mexico sends us their criminals, they're not sending their best. But this does seem like the best guy. Now that the case is over, he has returned to his home in Mexico, sources say.
Oh, yeah, fine. Thank God. He was not the best or worst guy. Definitely some guy. Definitely just some guy. And thank God he's finally back in Mexico, his home where he belongs. Like, Jesus Christ. You can't even be in another country and be safe from the American criminal justice system.
You really can't. I mean, that's Jesus. He probably thought he was going to go to El Salvador, which would be so crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of lawsuits that is going to hit the federal government in the next couple of years is going to be insane.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for any Democratic administration that's going to take over this mess because you're either going to have to pay these people money or you're going to have to look very cold not paying these people this money. And you're going to have to acknowledge that massive amounts of civil rights abuses took place and pay a bunch of money out of it. Or you're going to have to be really evil and fight these kind of things. I mean, whoever takes over the amount of mess that the Trump administration has made I do not envy them in the slightest, but this is an absolute mess.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not in the country anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So you're bringing him back. What is the goal plan? I mean, man, that poor kid,
Yeah. I mean, again, clearly cops just they have a new toy, AI, and
it's like that old saying, everything's like a nail when you have a hammer.
Exactly.
Everyone looks Mexican when you got a little AI.
Yeah.
That's a new one, guys.
Yeah.
You can use
that was great. So with that, we go to Uvalde. So last episode or maybe it was 2 episodes ago, whenever this guy's trial started, we were covering it, and now we got the verdict. Not shocking. He was acquitted on all counts. So, reading here from ABC News. A jury has acquitted former Uvalde, Texas school police officer Adrian Gonzalez for his response to the Robb Elementary shooting in May 2022. After more than 7 hours of deliberations, the jury returned a not guilty verdict Wednesday evening on all 29 counts of child endangerment. So that is the 19 children that were killed and the 10 children who were shot but survived. As the verdict was read, Gonzalez bowed his head as he heard it. Several of those sitting in the gallery started crying. He hugged his lawyers, shook hands, and appeared to be tearing up. Lawyers for Gonzalez, who pleaded not guilty, argued he was unfairly blamed for a broader law enforcement failure that day. Prosecutors claimed Gonzalez had a unique opportunity to stop the carnage when he arrived and learned gunman Salvador Ramos's location from a teaching aide. The aide testified that she repeatedly urged Gonzalez to intervene, but said the officer did nothing in those crucial moments. Prosecutors also argued Gonzalez failed to act once he got inside the school. Before jurors were sent to deliberate, District Attorney Christina Mitchell gave an impassioned plea saying, quote, "I know this case is difficult and it has been difficult, but we cannot continue to let children die in vain." The defense argued that Gonzalez did everything he could in that moment, including gathering critical information, evacuating children, and entering the school, and said Gonzalez acted on the information he had. The defense also highlighted that other officers arrived in the same time frame as Gonzalez, and that at least one officer had an opportunity to shoot the gunman before he entered the school.
Yeah, I don't know why did this guy get singled out?
Because he was first on the scene.
Oh,
That's what I imagine.
okay.
Two things about him is that he was first on the scene, and also he worked for the school.
Okay.
But it is a good question. Why did he get only because the defense kind of framed it as like, why does our poor guy is the one getting singled out? But the question really should be, why is only 2 out of the over 300 officers that were there? Why is only 2 of them facing any charges?
Yeah. From everything, and this is something that actually kind of broke me because I was still teaching when all this happened. But this is something that it's like all of them should be in trouble for it.
Yeah.
And if you can't agree that there's no point in having school police officers, if this isn't a deal breaker, if this isn't something where we can say, well, you guys are all guilty and you need to pay some type of penalty for it, there's no point in paying you, because what else is a school police officer doing at an elementary school?
Yeah.
What else are they doing? There's no fights taking out that require the assistance of, this is why we let women have those jobs. You don't have to be that. I'm just joking. Guys. I just came from Austin. Can we be a little massage? I'm just kidding. Yeah. But no, it's they're not doing anything. And the one job that you do have is like, hey, if some psycho comes in here, you gotta shoot him. Otherwise, we can just have the PE coach and the hall monitor or the crossing guard handle stuff. This is nuts.
I totally agree. I mean, and we bring this up all the time on this podcast, like, get cops out of schools. There's no reason to have a cop in the school whatsoever. Obviously, have an armed security guard there, but why have a police officer if, one, like we just see, they're not going to do anything anyways, and two, they do frequently affect, like, they do have an effect on schools, and that effect is arresting kids and throwing them to jail and getting them entangled in the criminal justice system just for being a kid getting in a fight at school, and too many cases of them, frankly, being little creepy pedophiles with the girls. Yeah. So there's really no reason to connect the kids to potentially the criminal justice system when they're fucking clearly not going to do anything when it comes down to what matters. Might as well just have private security there. Yeah, I think it would be cheaper. That's the first thing. Yeah. Which is, I just don't really, this whole case, it blows my mind, because, like I always say, if we can't as a country just agree, hey, we can't have a situation where
elementary school age kids are being shot to death. We hire someone to prevent that from happening, and when they don't prevent that from happening or stop it or make any kind of heroic effort to stop it, if there's no consequence for them not doing it, what is the point? What is their job?
Yeah.
Is it just to get the free lunch every day?
Yeah.
Is it to flirt with the teachers?
The students?
Yeah. Is it to be a pedophile? Is that what it is? Because, I mean, I've always said its function is its purpose, right? Like, if that's what you're doing, then sure. But Jesus
Well,
Christ,
this is the second. So this is going to be a new thing that's unfortunately going to keep happening in America is these specific trials. So this is the second, second like batch of these trials. The first was the Parkland high school shootings, where the 2 or 3 cops, school cops, who were put on trial for, again, not doing anything when kids were being murdered, also were acquitted of all charges. So this particular case, they tried child endangerment charges on these kids, which is charges usually reserved for parents. And the charges didn't stick because I assume, they're not the parents of these kids. They don't have the same legal obligation towards these kids as parents do. Cops, the Supreme Court has affirmed many times, do not have a legal obligation to protect us, meaning that if they don't do their job and they don't protect us, of course they can get fired. They should get fired, but they don't have a constitutional duty. They can't face legal charges. They can't go to jail for just not doing their job. And we could all relate to that. Like, whatever job you have, if you do it poorly, you should get fired. You shouldn't have to go to jail for that, right? We can all understand that logic, but at the same time, we can all easily understand the logic of cops don't have normal jobs.
They don't.
They have a extremely high level of responsibility, a responsibility that wasn't just like thrust on them, a responsibility that they signed up for to do.
And they asked for, and they've asked for an expanded role. They've asked for a lot of money to be trained on how to use all this other stuff. It's I do think a lot of our frustrations, I'm talking people like me and you who are on the same side of the political spectrum, our frustration with police officers come because we're viewing police through the wrong lens. Because if we view police through the lens of, you guys are not preventing crime. You're not solving crimes at a high enough rate. You don't have good standing. The public doesn't trust you. We can't turn to you to be public servants. Then yes, they're failing by all accounts. But if you're someone who views cops as who's going to stop black people from, raping my wife and stealing my property, then they're working very well. Yeah. If that's how you view what the cops are, who's going to handle these unruly black people, then you have no qualms with how the police are trained or what they do in our society. But I mean, I don't think you can just, how do you look at this, man? Yeah. I mean, this guy's at a school with children and nothing.
It was such an indictment on the cops because it wasn't just one cop. It was damn near 400. Can you even imagine that? How do you fit 400 cops outside of this classroom door? And they're all just waiting. They're listening to the gunshots go off, and none of them do the thing. And it's like, at the end of the day, there's a relatability to it, right? Like, no one would want to go into a room with a man with an AR. Is just I don't know if he had an AR, whatever gun he had. It's just you hear the gunshots going off.
I hate to say this.
These are cops who signed up. And wait, say what you were gonna say.
Well, I just hate to say this, but I feel like if you're going to do a mass shooting at elementary school, an AR feels a little excessive. Sure. I think we can all. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that would be funny. I thought.
Yeah, tough crowd.
Tough
with
crowd,
your,
guys. Come on now.
Rob Elementary School shooting jokes, but. Yeah. To go, I'm going to argue against what I just said. I was like, I just said that, you see the humanity of anyone who doesn't want to rush into a room with a kid where someone is shooting. But one thing the cops did do at Robb Elementary, we know this, is they stopped the parents from going in. Yeah. There were plenty of parents who were willing to die for their kids. That is the most human thing out of all this. Yeah. And the cops stopped them from doing that.
There was a cop who even had a kid in there, and they held him away. I saw that video. It was like sickening. Yeah. Because you could see how badly he wanted to go in there, and they just stopped or held him. I don't know what they were waiting for.
Well, Adrian Gonzalez acquitted of all charges, just like the Parkland High cops were acquitted. Peter Arendendo, I think that's his last name, chief of police in Uvalde. His trial keeps getting delayed. So we'll get there when we get there. But now we are going to... we're reading from the Washington Post.
Yeah, reading from the Washington Post. This is about ICE and their $100 million wartime recruitment push. They're targeting gun shows and military fans for hire. So, United States immigration and customs enforcement officials are planning to spend $100 million over a one-year period to recruit gun rights supporters and military enthusiasts through online influencers in a geo-targeted advertising campaign. Part of what the agency called a wartime recruitment strategy, it said, was critical to hiring thousands of new deportation officers nationwide. According to an internal document reviewed by the Washington Post, this spending would help President Donald Trump's mass deportation agenda dominate media networks and recruitment channels, including through ads targeting people who've attended UFC fights, listened to patriotic podcasts, or I like that we're calling racist podcast patriotic podcast now. That is a great level of reporting. Tim, Nick Fuentes is calling for a Fourth Reich and extermination of all Jewish and black people.
That's
patriotic.
An American right there.
That's American right there, buddy. Oh boy,
man loves Americans. Some of them.
Do you want to do a program? Get on this. Brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee and Prize Picks. That's insane. Just listen, man. Or shown interest, or anyone who's shown interest in guns and tactical gear, according to a 30-page document distributed among officials, and this summer's detailing ICE surge hiring marketing strategy.
So this is insane. Like, where have we heard before this level of targeted, the government targeting like their side of the culture war to come and join in the big ethnic cleansing project underway in the U.S. Me and Ashton always talk about like when it was first came out that they wanted to deport 3,000 people a day. We immediately started talking about, well, how are they going to do this logistically? Like they will need to hire so many fucking people to carry out this project. But look, they are trying to do that. They are recruitment has become like a centerpiece in what this project is all about. And this is just absolutely insane. Like people watching UFC, listening to patriotic podcasts. To me, it's kind of funny because it's like you don't need to spend $100 million to get someone who watches UFC to think about joining ICE. It's kind of a waste of fucking money.
About joining ICE.
Dude. You're just throwing money to nowhere. You need to spend that money to try to get kindergarten teachers to join ICE, right? That would be a recruitment accomplishment, right? Getting a Buffalo Exchange cashier to sign up for ICE. Spend your money there. But on Jesus. Fucking gun enthusiasts, you don't need $100 million to get a gun enthusiast to sign up for ICE.
He's been fantasizing about doing that for years.
Exactly. They already got the $50,000 signing bonus. Basically no training requirements at this point whatsoever. It's like UFC and gun owners are already signing up. we don't need $100 million more on this shit.
Well, I also think that when Trump pardoned so many of the January 6 people, he was like, great, 50,000 people who were we can get them signed up for ICE. Unfortunately, half of them went back to jail immediately because for some reason they were all like, I have to molest a child now that I'm free. All of them. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Most of the January 6 people are back in jail now because they're like, oh, I got a freebie. I don't think they realize.
I can finally kiss my wife and watch child pornography again. God, I missed the taste of freedom.
I don't think they realize that a pardon just meant for that crime. They're just like, oh, I'm good for all of them? Yes, okay.
And they're logging onto some black site and they're like, well, pardon me if I don't log on real quick.
No, one of them got in trouble for going to, he said repeatedly typing in childsex.com. And I'm like, oh God, dude, they can't. The most obvious honey trap ever. They're like,
it's not even a honey trap. Yeah. Type that in shit on
it's like,
by
hey,
himself.
dude, we got to arrest you for being a dumbass.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah, at least go incognito, bro, mode for that shit, bro. You can't just,
you're logged.
You're adding these bookmarks to your toolbar, dude. That's too far.
Oh, man. The Department of Homeland Security has spoken publicly about its fast-track effort to significantly increase ICE's workforce by hiring more than 10,000 new employees, a surge promoted on social media with calls for recruits willing to perform their sacred duty and defend the homeland. Oh, Lord, where have we heard these words before? By repelling foreign invaders. The agency currently employs more than 20,000 people, according to ICE's website. But the document reported here for the first time reveals new details about the vast scale of the recruitment effort and its unconventional strategy to flood the market with millions of dollars in spending for Snapchat ads and more pedophiles. If you're over 18 and you have a Snapchat, you are a pedophile. Look at me. Look at me in the eye. If you are over the age of 18 and you still have a Snapchat, you are a de facto pedophile. I'm going back to reading.
Do you love America? Are you a pedophile?
My God. Influencers and live streamers on Rumble, a video platform popular with conservatives. Under the strategy, ICE would also use an ad industry technique known as geofencing to send ads to the phone web browsers and social media feeds of anyone who set foot in military bases, NASCAR races, college campuses, or gun and trade shows.
Oh my God, dude.
Whoa.
The way they're like stereotyping themselves, right? They're like, who is the best and brightest patriotic Americans willing to save NASCAR, UFC, podcasts,
Jesus
just like
Christ,
all the shit that we say about them.
Yeah, I do wonder, what do all the Dagestani people who watch UFC think about the ICE ads?
Nah, dude, they're free Palestine.
Yeah.
Look, as much as we could go into their views that I don't really want to, no offense, fundamentalist Islamists, but yeah, they are, you know, I could see them being on the right side of this.
Yeah. I would like to see a would they go so far as to make a fundamentalist Islam targeted ICE ad and what that would look like?
Yeah. How UFC do you want to go, bro?
Oh man, Khabib doing a leg lock on it. You want to do this? Oh Jesus. It's unclear how much of the spinning and strategy has been carried out, but the plans outlined in the document have coincided with the rush of recruitment ads online seeking Americans who will answer the call to service. The strategy said to target listeners of conservative radio shows, country music, and podcasts related to patriotism, men's interests, and true crime, as well ladies, as well as any accounts that resemble users with an interest in conservative thought leaders, gun rights, organizations, and tactical gear brands. The document said.
It's like they're roasting themselves.
Yeah, this is so bad.
Do you still listen to Eminem in 2026? Do you think white quarterbacks are smarter than black quarterbacks? Do you comment mid on women's photos on Instagram? Welcome to the war.
Welcome to the war, buddy. To further attract recruits, strategy called for spending at least $8 million on deals with online influencers whose followers are largely Gen Z and millennials who are in the military families, fitness, and tactical lifestyle enthusiast communities. I think this is the big problem with, and I'm so serious when I say leftist, I don't know how I'm using it. I'm using leftist in a Texas way, not in a New York way, meaning that you are to the left of, you would vote Democrat and then whatever else is over there, all the way down to whatever.
I call that lib, but go on.
Lib to left, kind of put it all together, right? This is the problem when it comes to being on the left, is that everything is conservative. Everything is conservative, and you don't realize what you're watching is conservative most of the time. A lot of guys do not realize that their fitness content is conservative.
That's a great point.
A lot of girls do not realize that their lifestyle content is conservative.
Yeah.
And so
you're watching, you're like, oh, that steak looks good. Maybe I'll make myself a steak with some avocados and some eggs. Little do you know, you're joining ICE.
Yeah, 4 videos later, you're just like, well, here we go. Let's measure some skulls, you know? It comes so quick. And so I don't know how to get leftism into more things in a very subtle way. It's hard to have a Joe Rogan of the left without him being deeply, I guess, apolitical and just subversively putting in leftist theory into you, you know? just to keep going, the document did not name specific influencers, but it said it would focus on former agents, veterans, and pro-ICE creators. A pro-ICE creator, Jesus Christ, who would be expected to host live streams, Instagram, Rumble X, and YouTube blogs, Substacks, newsletters. Subscribe to my Substack, please.
Galaxy's in the chat, Patriots. Thank you. Thank you for the galaxy, brother.
What do you think niche communities are? They're just talking about furries, right? When they say niche communities?
Yeah, trad wives, I'm imagining.
Definitely
the future is terrifying.
It is. And the objective, it said, is to build trust through authentic peer-to-peer messaging, because nothing is more authentic than having your socialist media feed paid off by the government.
Nothing is more authentic than spending $100 million on ads.
That's so, oh boy, to astroturf fascism. Did Hitler have to do all this?
No, he didn't.
Okay, because, that's normalize and humanize careers at ICE through storytelling and lived experience. I love the therapy language. The document said they expect one of 5,000 applicants who would come through the influence program, costing ICE about $1,500 per application. There is no money to pay teachers more. There's no money to make your healthcare lower. There is no money to send your kids to college for quicker. There's nothing we can do to stop home prices from rising. There's nothing we can do to stop constantly sending money to Israel, to buy weapons, to murder children. But there is money for you to hear more of Nick Fuentes say how everything that's wrong in America is the fault of a Mexican man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What a great country we have.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Feels like we're not going in the correct direction.
$100 million, you know? Oh, boy.
It's a lot of money.
I do think woke is going to come back. And I do
Which,
think,
by the way, came that was part of the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
That the Democrats fucking caved on.
They caved on it, baby.
Caved on. And now, that was a big part of it. Millions and millions, record tripling ICE's budget. And now we're here.
They appeased, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Chuck Schumer.
He's got to go.
I agree with that. But we got to move on. And we're going to this. A story about a cop killing a dog. Why are you talking about that? That's every week. Well, this one's a little different. Hillsborough County, Florida, reading from KRCR TV. Ex-Florida cop accused of intentionally killing girlfriend's poodle with poison. Former police officer is behind bars after he allegedly poisoned his girlfriend's 3-year-old Maltese poodle, causing the dog to die from internal bleeding. According to Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, in May 2025, investigators were able to determine that Edwin Campuzano, 22, intentionally placed poison in his girlfriend's dog food, causing the dog to die from internal bleeding. The sheriff's office said that the incident was reported in December. Detectives followed the evidence and obtained an arrest warrant. Campuzano turned himself in to law enforcement on January 16th, 2026. Quote, "This was a cruel and deliberate act," said Sheriff Chad Chronister. At the Sheriff's Department, we will always protect the most vulnerable, including animals. And we will hold... By the way, the DOJ estimates that cops kill 10,000 dogs a year. Just wanted to sprinkle that in here.
We're going to protect marginalized voices and dogs.
Yeah. We love all the marginalized people in America. Golden retrievers, black labs, poodles.
So funny.
I can't think of anyone else.
Oh, man, dude. And dogs. Jesus
poisoning his, that's why, this man was born to be a cop, because even when he's not on duty, he's doing the work. In his own household, he's doing the work.
Well, sometimes it's, what is it, like people who have their leg amputated have a phantom limb, And just because you're not a cop anymore, you still got the itch, baby.
Exactly.
You see a dog, you're like,
You do what you love, you won't have to work a day in your life.
Kicks a dog.
This guy's like, man. Get that exhilaration.
The thrill is back, baby. Like, my God.
Yeah, and this article didn't include it, but there was another article I was reading about it where it was saying how he hated the dog. He just openly disliked the dog.
I didn't like the dog.
So I was immediately
to be fair,
a suspect.
that is a deal breaker for me at my age.
Yeah.
If you got a dog I don't like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I don't want your dog to. Well, we can't play football.
I came around to it.
You did you?
Yeah, I'm not a dog person. Kelly has a beautiful little dog, Gracie.
Okay.
You know what I say now? And it's true. I don't say I'm a dog person. I say I'm a Gracie person now.
Okay.
I do love Gracie, but dogs, yeah, a little bit. It's a little intense, Wake up in the morning, she's like immediately. I'm like, I realize I'm a cat person. Like I would respect you more if you respected yourself a little bit more. But I guess that makes me not a
love
dog
a nice
person.
cat.
Yeah.
They don't want your approval. It's
exactly. But I do love Gracie. Shout out Gracie.
Shout out to Gracie. You got a picture of Gracie? All right, here we go. Atlanta. Right now, we're leaving from Atlanta in the gray zone. This is new Mossad recruitment ads exploit Iran's unrest with help from U.S. comedian. This is insane because I don't know how much of you are on Black Twitter. But this comedian that this is about is named Desi Banks. Now, to explain what Desi Banks is in Black comedian terms is he is the Bert Kreischer, of Black comedians, meaning that no one who is actually funny respects him in any capacity, and he's famous just because he's so bad and people don't know what funny is, and they're like, I guess, take your shirt off, Desi. Who gives a fuck? I guess that's what humor is these days. So.
That was a great analogy because I was not very familiar with Desi Banks. Yeah. I didn't quite know how to feel about him. I know how I feel about Bert Kreischer.
It's a bar-to-bar comparison. I'm not saying they're doing the same stuff, but the same person, the black person who likes Desi Banks, if you moved her over and just raised her in Topeka, she would like Bert Kreischer. It would be it's the same, dude. Time is a flat circle, right? Days after anti-government rioters spread mayhem across Iranian cities, Israel's Mossad published a new series of Farsi language online recruitment ads.
Crazy first sentence for an article about Desi Banks.
That is crazy. It's just crazy. All of these words, my brother. The Israeli Foreign Intelligence Service has taken partial credit for the deadly unrest, pledging a December 29th Twitter X post that its agents were in the field with protesters. Now, it is escalating its infiltration efforts by soliciting spies inside Iran throughout the Persian diaspora. One of the most recent ads appeared on a January 14th Twitter post associated with an Israeli intelligence at Payameyabi, I think. It featured a short AI video showing an Iranian protester seated defiantly in the middle of a street, confronting a phalanx state of security officers on motorbikes. Your role, Iranians abroad, is vital, the tweet by Payabi declares. The final days of the regime has arrived. If you know someone who works in sensitive industries and call centers, call us. Our organization is by your side. The text followed by a link to a Google form which allows potential recruits to apply as Mossad informants, promising them protection and lucrative rewards. At the center of the recruitment form is an image of a tattooed arm holding a trash bag, emblazoned with the logo of the Islamic Republic of Iran. It reads, "Built a future, opportunities, it is now."
So yes, just to catch everyone up if they don't know, Israel hates Iran, right? That's a tale as old as time. Not really, but
is there a reason why Israel and Iran don't like one another? Because
it's geopolitics.
And look, I don't mean because we've talked about this how much I don't know about that, and I'm trying to learn more. But I did date a Jewish girl, and then I dated a Persian girl back to back, and both their houses smelled the same. So I don't really understand where the hate comes from.
Yes. Well, this is a great. I'm glad we can have this learning moment because that's a great example or teaching moment. Yeah.
Okay.
It is not a religion thing whatsoever. I mean, Israel has normalized relations with all the Saudi Gulf states. But those Saudi Gulf states, which are Muslim countries, got beef with Iran, which is a Muslim country. But it's like it's basically the Cold War of the Middle East. And so everyone has their alliances, and Iran is part of like what you would call like quote unquote the resistance axis. So they're funding
they're the
Israel's
they're
enemies.
the last holdouts. They're kind of like how Kendrick was always a hater of Drake.
Yes.
And, okay.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm not, y'all are all collabing with them. I'm not. All right.
So here we got Israel posting ads for Irani people in Iran during these protests to be like, hey, we know you hate your government. Help us out. The Mossad, we hate your government. Help us overthrow your government. That's what's going on here.
Okay.
But now we're about to have a new player enter the chat.
All right. The Mossad has placed. Is it the Mossad or is it Mossad? Like, is it like a tribe called Quest? How do I want to get it right. I don't want them to hit me with the goy beam or whatever they have over there. The Mossad has placed several recruitment ads on YouTube and other Google-owned social media platforms through Desi Banks production. It happened on this company owned by a black Atlanta-based comedian known for urban-themed stand-up comedy and online video sketches like How Them Pimps Used to Be Back in the Day, Going to Yoga with a White Girl for the First Time, and How It Be When a Skinny Dude with a Big Girl. Amazing.
This is fantastic journalism.
This is great journalism. God, whoever wrote this deserves the Pulitzer.
Max Blumenthal. I actually like the Gray Zone a lot. Yeah, Max Blumenthal. And he does a great job here. Like, I'm going to go ahead and just give you the information you need to understand how absurd it is that this guy is allegedly working with the Mossad.
How Them Pimps Used to Be Back in the Day, Going to Yoga with a White Girl for the First Time, and How It Be When a Skinny Dude is with a Big Girl. None of these words are in the Quran. I just, my God. Banks might be the unlikeliest conduit for highly sensitive Mossad operations. On the other hand, the comedian's apolitical profile, a likely need for production support, might have made him the perfect candidate for an intelligence agency seeking to conceal its fingerprints. So they just put ads on his videos?
The ads were traced back to this LLC, which is his LLC.
They got the one lazy Mossad agent who was like, Desi.
Yeah. He thought it was someone more like me.
Yeah. We got a Persian that wants to be black over there. Put it in Toronto.
Well, this was early on with the new chapter in Israel versus Palestine. Like, that was something that I'm trying to put together the context in my head right now, but it was actually in Atlanta as well, where they were having some, conference of Zionists, and Hasbara is their big thing. That's their word for Israelis. The Israeli government has a word called Hasbara, which from their perspective means we need to spread the good word of the Jewish people and our right for this land so that we'll always be understood and people will have our back. But if you're not a fan of Zionist ethnic cleansing, Hasbara just means propaganda, right? And I remember vaguely they were having some conference and they mentioned that, like, we're black Americans right now are on social media and they're becoming anti-Israel, and we need to figure out what to do about this right away. So maybe if it is true, it is true that that the LLC was connected. Desi Banks' LLC is connected to these ads, but maybe that. I'm just wildly speculating, which is what we do on this podcast.
That's so funny.
It might be part of this higher mission to quote unquote get black people on the side of Israel.
The lady who said that, she probably watched the Super Bowl and was like, I told you, they don't like us anymore. Look at them. They're calling us pedophiles and dancing. Make Serena Williams stop dancing for it.
Yeah. Look, Desi Banks, he's come out. He said, he's got no idea. He's looking into this.
I would love to see Desi Banks pronounce half of these words. It would make me so happy to see Desi Banks. How would Desi Bank say the word Mossad? How would he say the word diaspora? He calls it Parisian, like it's a cheese. Oh, man, that would be great, dude.
Look, like I said, I was not very aware of Desi Banks before this. I don't really have any opinions on him. He is a comedian, so I feel some sort of empathy and with that. So I'm gonna personally take him on his word that he had no idea what was happening. I think both are might be equally likely that there's a chance that he was personally there's a chance that he could be lying right now, and he did know, and he was reached out to and offered a big enough of a bag to where he was like, all right, I'll do it. Or maybe he has terrible politics. That could be true as well. Or it could be, I looked at him. He's got 9 million followers on Instagram. This guy clearly is famous enough to where he has like a machine operating with him. And there's decisions that are being made that that you're not making.
There's no way Desi Banks was just like, look, we're making good sketches. I'm glad I talked about the social, economic, politicals of being skinny and being me with a white girl for the first time. That's great. We're spreading the message.
A big white girl.
Yes, but have we thought about Middle Eastern politics? I think this is an untapped creative market for myself.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a conversation he definitely had when he signed up for this.
I mean,
That's
yes.
so funny.
But we know that in reality, the conversation would be more like, hey, would you like all this money to help launder ads for us? And either someone at his team said yes, whether it was him or someone on his behalf, that we don't know. But sorry.
I just want to see. Well, it's on Reddit. It says on the our Reddit Black Men. Subscribe to that, please. Desi outed as
everyone
an agent.
Listening.
Everyone. He's trying to figure out why. Poor Desi Banks, dude. Trust me, I'm doing my part. My team is doing theirs. I don't know I had anything to do with what's going on. I don't know how them people got my information. I wouldn't be doing none of this if I was really guilty of this. And then he just...
That sounds honest to me.
Yeah. That's so funny. I would have loved...
But yeah, putting Desi Banks in this context, it's like finding out Drewski shot Charlie Kirk, right? You're like, holy shit, this was not on my bingo card.
No, I don't think that would have been the funniest person to shoot Charlie Kirk. The funniest would have been a black female pilot. That would have been... Absolutely. Wow. Just on her day off.
Crashes into his house.
Yeah, black female pilot with a hijab on for no reason other than just... Oh, yeah. Latifah Jackson. Did you...
Yeah. Fatima Johnson, the murderer of...
man, that's so
but
good.
Another gray zone. I mean, they're putting out a lot of news related to this week. I didn't even have time to read the whole article. Steph Curry also has invested tens of millions of dollars in tech firms that are started by the IDF. Now, I don't have to, I mean, if you're not aware of it, you could put two and two together. What is an Israeli tech firm might be pioneering, the type of stuff you might want to like wash your hands clean. But with Steph, I'll give him a little less leeway than I give Desi Banks, because Steph, we already know he's got bad politics. He is a what is it called? NIMBY. Not in my backyard. This fool is putting in millions of dollars to keep poor people as far away from him as possible. And now you're putting in millions of dollars to IDF tech firms. That's two strikes, Steph.
Yeah. Very interesting. Does he have his money in like a hedge fund and they're just like, hey, listen, Israel's on the rise.
Damn it, you're right. You're right. He could have no idea.
He could, but he also couldn't. I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's hard to do anything good because once you get past a certain money, the only way you can get more money is if you're like, all right, well, do you want to do more genocide for us? I think that's the only way. That's why, you got to be, the only good people are people who make exactly what my salary is. Everyone else who makes less is bad.
Because they're poor.
Yes. Moral failing. Anyone who makes more is also bad.
Yeah.
So if you make exactly what I make, I'm not saying what it is, you're good. I'll let you guys figure that out.
Well, that's why I got you on this podcast. I wanted to have the only good person I know.
Thank you. More people should know this about me,
Yeah, I mean, I say you put it on your hinge. I've been telling you that for a while now. But you're so humble. Yes, you haven't done it yet.
Thank you, man.
So let's round this out with, we had a lot of serious stories this week. Let's round it out with just a stupid story that no one should really care or talk about at all, but we're going to do it. So we're going to Prince, Utah. Reading here from KUTV, just a very short, mysterious article. This is the entire article. It's headlined, Carbon County Sheriff's Deputy Accused of Playing Cornhole Without Pants in Driveway. An employee with the Carbon County Sheriff's Office has been scheduled to appear in court after he was accused of playing cornhole without pants in his driveway.
Was he making himself the hole? Is that why he didn't have pants?
Damn, actually sounds kind of fun. Rick Adams, 62. All right, I don't want to be ageist here, but I would call the cops if I My 62-year-old neighbor playing cornhole with everything hanging out. Rick Adams, 62, was charged with obstruction of justice. What? What?
What justice? What justice?
Okay. Obstruction of justice, a Class A misdemeanor, and lewdness. All right, that one I get. A Class B misdemeanor. His court date has been scheduled for Monday, February 2nd. Charging documents state that Adam was seen in his driveway on August 7, 2025, playing cornhole, quote, without any pants or underwear on.
Just letting it fly, baby.
Just letting it fly. The court documents did not state whether he was wearing any other clothes. Could have been totally naked. Could have been going Winnie the Pooh style.
Winnie the Pooh style, yeah.
Daffy Duck style.
God, man, that's so fun. Was he playing by himself?
Yeah.
So
article that truly raises more questions than it answers.
Yeah, because if he's playing with you have to play cornhole with at least another person. Otherwise,
no, you could be out there, like you shooting shots on your basketball goal by yourself.
So otherwise, he was just tossing a beanbag with no pants on. That's what was actually happening. Yeah. Sounds like he was lonely. I mean, we talk about a male loneliness epidemic, but he's 62 with no friends. He has his pants off, and he's like, guys, it's a cry for help.
This is where the white male loneliness, if we don't reach out to them, this is what's going to happen. They're going to have one too many beers, watching the Nick Fuentes on the YouTube. They're going to get sad, think about their wife that left them for no reason. And then next thing you know, they're outside doing the cornhole and they're naked.
Showing hog,
And obstructing justice, apparently.
God, what justice was being obstructed?
He probably wasn't doing a great job handling getting arrested. Yeah. But I like to imagine that the cops were so disgusted by this that they were like, this is some sort of obstruction of justice. In the broad sense, it doesn't feel just what's happening.
I'm so glad I'm not like an influencer, because if I had like the same following Nick Fuentes had, I would make this like a viral moment and make my fans show up to the courthourse not wearing pants with like beanbags just to be like, we stand with Rick, like that kind of stuff.
I play cornhole. I play cornhole. I play the cornhole.
We are cornhole. God, that'd be so great.
Yeah. Well, shout out that guy.
Rick, we're praying for you, buddy. When you're out, we'll play some cornhole together. Pick up game. Or
shout out Desi Banks, Steph Curry, and shout out y'all for listening. And shout out you, Mycal Dede.
Yeah.
Please
Thank you for having
follow
me,
him. Hilarious comedian, all around great guy. And now we're moving on to our Patreon episode. We're about to record that, so sign up for that shit. Thanks for listening.